So I just saw Dolittle, and it was not good, but you probably already knew that because this movie has been out for a while, and I just didn't get the chance to see it until now. Wasn't really sure if I was going to, but I was out and watching Birds of Prey anyway, and so just decided I would watch this one right after because I thought it would be funny. And it was. This was honestly kind of a fascinating movie to watch. I mean, by now it's pretty obvious that it was a flop. It did not make back its $175 million budget. But even without knowing the budget as I was watching it, it was so incredibly obvious that they spent so much money on it. This film has more Oscar winners in it than Cats. There is also a lot of very expensive computer animation in this film. Perhaps they were thinking that Robert Downey Jr. in the lead role would be enough to make this film successful. Could have fooled me, but I guess it didn't work out. What's absolutely baffling to me is just how they decided to market this film. In what universe did anybody expect this epic adventure tone from the trailer to be anything close to what the actual film would be?
Babies cry, watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I. It's okay to be scared.
It's honestly just a campy kids movie, so why didn't you market it that way? Maybe more people would have seen it if you were just honest about it, but I guess coming straight from the Avengers, they decided to pretend it was the next logical chapter in Tony Stark's story. I seriously have no idea what they were thinking. The jokes were really bad, but not in ways that were inconsistent with other really shitty kids movies. Haha, the goose is gonna grab the forceps, but that's not forceps, that's a piece of celery. Hey, that's a piece of celery again. You don't know what forceps are. Why does Robert Downey Jr. trust the goose to get his forceps when it doesn't know what forceps are? Ha ha ha. The villain was extremely over the top and cheesy, but again, I mean, it wouldn't feel out of place in something like Lazy Town, I guess. You're a dumb movie for babies. Just market yourself as a dumb movie for babies. There's a market for that. You might make money if you were just honest. This movie was really bad, but it certainly wasn't the most annoying thing I've seen all year. I would say this is probably a worse movie than Birds of Prey, but more enjoyable, if that makes sense. Robert Downey Jr. is doing this Welsh accent for the entire movie, and it's very, very strange and kind of funny. There's a polar bear character who's always cold, and at the beginning of the movie, they show the polar bear in, like, Antarctica or wherever the fuck, and then Robert Downey Jr. just gives him a little hat, and then the polar bear's fine. But then the polar bear is not in Antarctica anymore and is traveling around with Robert Downey Jr., and the climate is obviously very much warmer, but the polar bear's still cold for some reason. I guess that's just his character trait, I guess. Rami Malek played a gorilla, and he was very, 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 very annoying. I liked the tiger, that's about it. Alright, spoiler time. If you don't want to hear spoilers, then fucking leave. 3, 2, 1. So this is already a bit of a meme by this point, but I figured I should mention it just in case some people weren't aware of it. So by the end of the movie, they run into a dragon, and it was excruciatingly obvious that this was going to happen because at one point the villain opens up a book and is like, oh, look, there's no such thing as dragons. I guess they also showed the dragon in the trailer, but I had completely forgotten about that by this point. So Robert Downey Jr. learns how to speak dragon after about 5 seconds of interacting with it. He discovers that the dragon has a tummy ache and then reaches into the dragon's asshole to pull out a bunch of armor and a fully functional bagpipe. Sounds like I'm joking, but I am not. And this is basically the climax of the film. They kind of just forgot about the villain and then included him in a post-credits sequence. It was a very bizarre choice, to say the least. And given the fact that this bagpipe is still fully functional, either the dragon's digestive system does not really work at all, or it was inserted into the asshole to begin with. But hey, that's just a theory! And I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10.